Hello, my Fright Fest maniacs out there. We got some Fright Fest announcements to cover. So for the announcements I'm going to be covering here on this video is that we finally gotten the announcement of what haunted houses to expect for this year's Fright Fest at Six Flags over Texas. And I'm going to be covering all of this with y'all here on this video here. So if you like what you see here, be sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do a lot of Six Flags over Texas coverage, whether if I'm doing vlogs out the park, whether if I'm doing breaking news updates here at my lair here, as you can see here. So if you want to see all of this, be sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. And be sure you ring the bell to be notified about my latest videos. So anyway, let's get into it. So about a month ago, Six Flags as a whole corporate came out with the big news that they are getting 6 movie IPs to Fright Fest this year, which is as follows: Stranger Things, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Army of the Dead, Trick or Treat, The Conjuring Universe, and of course, Saw. So 6 IPs, most of which is all going to Great Adventure and Magic Mountain. They're all getting the extreme treatment, as while Magic Mountain isn't getting the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they are getting a lot of the haunts, and Great Adventure is, of course, the only part until Us gets announced. We'll get to that in a minute. Gets the Chainsaw Massacre. So for Us, we are getting 5 out of 6 IPs. So the IPs that we are getting are Stranger Things, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Trick or Treat, The Conjuring, and Saw. So yeah, all 5 IPs are all on the way from Six Flags over Texas. And let me just tell you, I cannot wait for Fright Fest now. Like the big IP, man. Wow. Just completely out of nowhere, just completely unreal that we are literally going down the route like Halloween Hornets usually do and stuff like that. Yeah, so basically I had pulled up the Dallas Observer for the whole announcement breakdown on this here article here. So what we got here is a quote from the park president, Richard Dwyer, which says, as I quote, "Over the past 30 years, Fright Fest at Six Flags over Texas has cemented itself as a Halloween classic," Park President Richard Dwyer said in a news release. "So we are thrilled to welcome these icons of thrill and horror to add even more eerie excitement to this year's event. Longtime horror heads have likely thought long and hard about which Saw traps they could defeat and how. This fall, in honor of the original film's 20th anniversary, Saw fans can finally put their skills to the test by plunging themselves into the depths of Jigsaw's twisted mind. Guests will endure a number of John Kramer's torturous trials and encounter several of his hellish contraptions before time runs out." So basically, for the Saw haunt, it is celebrating its 20th anniversary. So the first movie came out all the way back in 2004 and stuff like that. So basically what I'm thinking that we're most likely going to see from that Saw haunt is, I think we could be seeing a compilation of all of the traps that we've seen throughout the entirety of the Saw movies and stuff like that. So this is actually really exciting. That is actually one of my top anticipated houses because I am a huge fan of the Saw franchise and cannot wait to see what they have done with it. Yeah, and yes, of course, Magic Mountain, Great Adventure, Great America, Over Georgia, so on and so forth, had gotten the Saw X house last year. And there has been a lot of mixed opinions around it. Some of them liked it, some of them not as much, and stuff like that. Yeah, and while I was watching some videos of them on YouTube, I thought I actually liked what they did with the whole thing. Like, I mean, it's the theming, and the scares aren't really there, but it is actually really cool theming all around you. It feels like that you actually are in the movie and stuff like that, which I actually find it real cool. So that's Saw X. So let's head on over to what to expect for the Conjuring universe. Fans of horror icon James Wan are in for another treat, as the second franchise of his, The Conjuring, will have another immersive park experience of its own. Instead of your typical haunted house trip, visitors can tour through the Warrens' most spine-chilling cases that inspired the original The Conjuring film, Annabelle, and The Nun. Throughout each investigation, guests will encounter cursed artifacts that may make them targets of possession. So basically, yeah, the Conjuring haunt, oh my gosh. So, yeah, just like last year, Great Adventure and Magic Mountain had gotten those houses before, but the Conjuring house that they've gotten last year is going to be much, yeah, that was actually a bit different compared to what we're about to get this year. The haunt that those two parks had only gotten from last year, that was completely tied in for the original first Conjuring movie. This one, however, we're getting the whole package. Like with Annabelle, the Nun, we're getting a lot of goodies here. So, yeah, basically, the Conjuring franchise is coming to life at Six Flags Over Texas. So, what do y'all think about the whole Conjuring universe, of course, coming to Six Flags Over Texas this Fright Fest? Coming on over to Stranger Things, but unfortunately there really isn't that much to talk about on this one, however, but I will read it off from the article as I say. Not much is known about the Stranger Things Fright Fest attraction, or the series' upcoming 5th and final season. But Six Flags had said the Netflix attraction will take form as an immersive maze. Details about which characters or demo monsters visitors will encounter have yet to be announced. So basically, we do not even know what characters or what monsters we're going to be seeing for this maze. But it will be a very cool and immersive maze that we're going to be seeing. Yeah, and that one is actually the most nervous I've actually gotten from. It's not because of how scared I am and stuff like that. It is for how well they can accomplish it. So, yeah, I have faith that Six Flags can pull this off and make it into the best Stranger Things haunt that we could see at a Six Flags park. So not that much to say about the Stranger Things haunt, but more details of it is coming soon in the near future. So how about that Trick or Treat movie? So we got a Trick or Treat house on the way. So what we got here is Trick or Treat Sam, the infamous Freddy Pajama Ed spirit of Halloween, will act as a guide for guests along a jack-o'-lantern lit path. Along the trail, Fright Fest visitors will run into a number of supernatural encounters that will tap into their deepest fears and learn the rules of the haunting holiday before they enter a realm where tricks dominate treats. So basically, I have seen the movie, but y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I was not that much of a fan of that movie. I watched it a long time ago, but I just didn't like it for some reason. I think it's probably because I just didn't understood it and stuff like that. I know it was an anthology movie, but I just didn't understand everything about it. So I think I may need to go back and rewatch the movie and see if my mind has changed and everything else. But the trick or treat haunt, it looks like that we're getting a lit up jack-o'-lantern path. So that is actually going to be really cool to go through. So I'm actually pretty intrigued about trick or treat. So what do y'all think about the trick or treat haunt? Yeah. What do y'all think about the haunt coming to Six Flags Fright Fest this year? So moving on to our last IP announcement of Fright Fest, we have the 2022 version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I'm going to be reading off of this right now. So the last addition to the 2024 lineup takes after the 2022 film version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Guests will be cast as visitors to the town setting, Harlow, Texas. The visitors are on the heels of the influencer set on revitalizing the town, but their presence results in the revelation of a deadly secret. So, yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. So, yeah, of course we are getting chainsaws back at Fright Fest yet again. Yeah, but this time it ain't from Piggy's Bloodshed. So this time, this will be from Leatherface. So yeah, so from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I am actually pretty excited for that house. Yeah, so the movie itself, I was not that much of a fan of it. Yeah, but just like the Trick or Treat haunt, I am pretty intrigued to see what they're gonna do with the haunt during this year's Fright Fest. So, how do y'all feel about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre making its own debut at Six Flags Over Texas? Now, of course, that is the end of the IP lineup, but don't forget we got some Six Flags Fright Fest originals. So, we got 3 coming in, 2 returning ones and 1 brand new Fright Fest original. So let's take a look and see what we got here. Those looking for more familiar attractions will be able to visit 3 original haunts: Terror at the Polynesian Palm, an abandoned and deadly plant-infested hotel, Reject Row, Rain Check, a theater filled with shadowy figures and tempered water tanks, and Unearthed, tunnels of an abandoned Old West mine shaft with a slew of booby traps. So let's just talk about the 2 haunts here. So, of course, let's talk about Terror at the Polynesian Palm. So, of course, if y'all have seen my Scream Break vlog earlier this year, and that was back in March, you can actually see that Six Flags had introduced a brand new haunted house called Curse of the Polynesian Palm to go along with the whole theme of the whole themed area that I showed you all on the video. So this year, it seems like that they're pretty much revamping the whole house, and they're renaming it from Curse to Terror at the Polynesian Palm. So, yeah, I am actually very excited for it. And of course, if you watch my vlog, I went through it 5 times, and I actually really enjoyed for what they did in the old Piggy's Bloodshed area. So, yeah, if y'all haven't gotten a chance to go through that haunt during Screen Break, now it will finally be y'all's chance to go through it this Fright Fest. It is a great haunt. I had a lot of great times in there, and I think y'all are gonna love that house if y'all haven't gone through it as from Screen Break. So going on Reject Row Rain Check, yeah, of course it is gonna be a revamped haunt, and yeah, I am actually pretty excited. Yeah, Reject Row last year ended up being my favorite house of the year of Fright Fest last year. So, yeah, again, Reject Row had the best scares, it had the best theming, and it had a much better way of getting around the haunt, just like how, yeah, better than how Killer Theater worked out back then, which didn't really work for me as much. So, basically, yeah, Reject Row is back with Reject Row Rain Check. Yeah, how do you think about Reject Row returning for Fright Fest this year? And last but certainly not least, we got a new Fright Fest original, which we got Unearthed. So basically, it is themed after tunnels of an abandoned Old West mine shaft with a slew of booby traps. So basically, this is actually getting me Buried Alive vibes, which of course, if you watch my Roller Coaster Rodeo series, I have went through a mine shaft haunted house called Buried Alive over at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Yeah, it was a really good haunt over there, but knowing to see that over Texas is bringing in their own style of a mine shaft haunted house, I'm a bit interested to see how that's gonna go. I am actually really excited to see where this is all gonna take place and everything. And of course, I do love me a good Fright Fest new original. So, what do y'all think about Unearthed making its debut here at Six Flags Fright Fest this year? But there you go, guys. That is the whole haunted house lineup. So we are seeing a lot of big IPs coming to the park, and we got some good Fright Fest originals on the table and everything. This is going to be a fright-tacular time. So, of course, more information is still to come, and it'll probably be released closer to Fright Fest. So, in case y'all don't know when Fright Fest starts on Friday the 13th of September, and it'll run all the way to November 3rd. So, it is actually the longest Fright Fest that we're actually going to see, like 2 months. That is nuts. So, yeah, anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, the prices are coming soon. Tickets are coming soon, obviously. And I will update y'all some more information of what's to come for Fright Fest 2024. So I want to hear y'all guys' thoughts on the haunted houses. Which haunted houses are you looking forward to for this year's Fright Fest? And which ones are you a bit skeptical on, knowing for what could be accomplished and everything? And what is your top anticipated IP for what is coming out at Six Flags Over Texas? So that's going to do it for this video, guys. So be sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified about my latest videos. And thank you all again so much for watching. And you know what to do? Y'all keep it thrilling.